Coming up, more than 100 gifted children attended workshops in Harlan County covering a variety of wellness-related topics. And students in Leslie County wrote and illustrated a book about the power of words and how they can impact those around us.
It's not an end to the tranquil weather, but a brief pause in the dry weather is possible with some potential showers overnight. I'll have the latest on the way as First at 4 continues.
Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Gifted students from Harlan County Public Schools participated in workshops and discussions on how to handle everyday problems today. WYMT's Dakota Makris was at the Harlan Center to learn more about the event.
When you think of your health,
Wednesday morning was dedicated to helping more than 100 gifted students learn more ways to handle social and emotional issues. The workshops focused on a variety of situations students may face, including those that could be directly related to their gifted status.
Gifted kids have an additional set of issues that they sometimes don't have the knowledge, the ability, the skills to handle.
Participating in sessions that teach students ways to better understand and cope with symptoms of anxiety and depression, making sure students understand how mental and physical health are equally important and the impact they can have on one another.
Talked about nutrition, good sleep habits, how to identify your moods, and how your social aspects impact your mood.
One 8th grader I talked with says these sessions are important to her and her classmates, especially when the stress of their schoolwork feels like too much to handle.
As a gifted kid, sometimes we might feel like a lot of pressure on ourselves, but we can talk to people.
Encouraging the next generation to thrive. In Harlan County, Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News.
The sessions wrapped up today at 1 p.m. Bullying is something that takes place in elementary schools almost daily. One Mountain View elementary teacher is teaching her 7th and 8th graders the impact it can have through an assignment. Laditra Morgan had her students write about a time someone said hurt them and a time someone said something that healed them. The assignment turned into the classroom writing a book with their stories anonymously.
Seeing the words that hurt them beside the words that healed them was like really impactful. And so then I was like, well, we need to do this in a way that they can read each other's and start to try and understand each other better. Because once you're able to empathize with other people, your bullying issues kind of diminish.
The book is called Words That Hurt and Words That Heal. Morgan says she's already noticed a positive impact on how the students interact with each other now. Colton Ramey will be celebrating his 7th birthday next month, and his mom just hopes he can celebrate from home. The Johnson County boy has lived with his share of medical issues since being born premature in 2015, only weighing 1 pound 7 ounces. Now, after fighting off respiratory viruses and COVID-19, he continues to battle intestinal and bowel issues, keeping him at Cincinnati Children's Hospital on and off for the last 3 months.
So I've pretty much given up on knowing when we're going home until we're actually walking out the door. Because you never know, what can happen. I mean, he was in for 2 weeks and still managed to catch COVID.
On top of his medical conditions, Colton also has autism. Coming up at 6, hear how the support from the local advocacy community is helping the family as they wait for homecoming.
A rather nice afternoon around the mountains in many spots. And if you're not seeing the sunshine, you're probably still seeing the nice temperatures regardless. One place seeing the sunshine, that's UVA Wise. They've got the sunshine out right now, including a few of those clouds. I'll go ahead and put them on sunset watch. They look pretty nice out there. Temperatures in the mid-40s, though, a little bit cooler than the rest of the area. Buffalo Mountain camera here in Perry County, a slightly different story, watching some high clouds and even some lower clouds as we watch a little disturbance push through the area this afternoon. Not hurting temperatures at all. Middle 50s out there. Sun still shining in downtown Whitesburg as folks start to head home. Mid 40s, mid to upper 40s out there right now. as we continue to see some warmer air pushing into the mountains. Middle and upper 50s around the region still, so not feeling too bad. We're watching a little disturbance push through the area this afternoon. A lot of what you see here isn't reaching the ground, but you know, you could get a sprinkle. We're not talking a ton of moisture and a ton of rain, just something to keep an eye on as we head through the afternoon. Likely maybe reaching the ground out back toward Louisville, really between Louisville and Lexington right now, seeing that little wave. That's the front that's going to be moving into the area overnight, and that'll give us a chance for a few showers during the overnight hours. Mid-30s out there. We have southwest winds ahead of it, keeping things on the milder side as we head through tonight. I'll have the latest on when we could see a few more showers a little bit later on in the forecast as well, coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. New data shows the United States has seen a sharp increase in violent crime during the past 2 years. Lawmakers from both sides of the aisle held news conferences today to discuss varying solutions to the spike, while experts say there's no one solution to bring down the trend. CBS's Skylar Henry has more from Capitol Hill.
This week, police in Miami, Florida responded to a tragic scene. A father shot and killed his 2 children before turning the gun on himself. While in Los Angeles, the family of Ricardo Trujillo Ramirez tearfully offered a reward in hopes of finding the person who shot and killed the 16-year-old last September.
The last few months have been heartbreaking.
It's part of a nationwide spike in violent crime. A recent report from the Council on Criminal Justice showed homicides in major American cities ticked up in 2021, with a 5% increase from 2020 and, more disturbingly, a 44% increase over 2019.
It's not a simple problem, and we can't explain it simply.
George Washington University professor Dr. Fran Buntman says there's no single solution to help reduce the trend, even as the Justice Department takes new steps to stop the flow of illegal guns and ghost guns, which are assembled using parts created by 3D printing technology.
You can have gun rights without having society awash in guns. But guns are not the only problem.
The uptick in violent crime has also become a campaign issue ahead of November's midterm elections to decide control of Congress.
The crime that we are seeing surging across this country is a direct result of Democrats' soft-on-crime policies.
In dueling news conferences Wednesday, Senate Republicans and House Democrats were split on the root causes of violence.
I don't think you've heard anybody here suggest that we should be soft on crime. It starts with crime prevention.
But both sides agreed that local police departments need more resources. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Florida Congresswoman Val Demings, who is the former Orlando police chief, is pushing her bipartisan bill, the Victim Act, to fund the hiring and training of more detectives to investigate gun violence. President Biden has also called on Congress to approve $500 million in new funding for community policing and violence intervention programs. In Canada, anger over vaccine mandates has led to escalating protests by truckers, including at the border with the United States. This is day 2 of a blockade at a bridge carrying about a quarter of American trade with Canada. There are now signs there could soon be similar protests across Canada demanding an end to vaccine mandates. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has condemned the protests, accusing the protesters of undermining Canadian democracy.
It has to stop. The people of Ottawa don't deserve to be harassed in their own neighborhoods.
There are now reports a similar protest is being planned in the United States, a large convoy from Sacramento to Washington, D.C. Coming up on First at 4, for some folks, half the fun of the Super Bowl is watching the commercials. We'll share the big trends you'll see in them this Sunday.
I'll enjoy watching the game and the commercials, but that's just me. We'll continue to see a few showers work into the region as we head into the nighttime hours. I'll have the full details on the way.